We're here to talk about Enter the Warrior's Gate. And I have to mention, I reviewed and watched Cockneys vs. Zombies, which you made, right?
Yes,
And I have to say that it was probably one of my favorite zombie films, in a long time. I mean, that's right up there with Shaun of the Dead. And I loved it. I loved it. I told everybody about it.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I've
That,
sort of
that was great.
put
But
a lot of love into that little film. Yes.
So Enter the Warrior's Gate is this really cool movie you got to make with like the legendary filmmaker Luc Besson and Robert Mark Kamen. How did Enter the Warrior's Gate come about? I mean, it's this video game type of movie where somebody gets transported almost into like a video game scenario and back in the past. Like it's a really fun movie. I really liked it.
Oh, thank you. I kind of, it sort of came about, after Cockneys versus Zombies. I went and I developed a high concept science fiction project, and it was on the blacklist in Los Angeles, in LA. In 2013, and the blacklist is the sort of best unproduced screenplays, and Fox bought it, and it was going to be my next movie. And then I realized, when it took 9 months to do the contract, that the studio system moves a lot slower than the indie system where I come from. So while that was going, Luke was looking for a European director who could do comedy, action, and visual effects. And I had realized the hard way, on Cockneys versus Zombies, that making a horror comedy is kind of like the toughest challenge you can set yourself as a first-time filmmaker, because to control the tone of something that has to be, funny for 10 seconds, dramatic and heartfelt for 5, scary for 10, action-packed for 5, funny again, and changes constantly. And to control that without it falling apart is really difficult, And I sat in the edit suite thinking, oh my God, I wish I had just done a thriller, or just a straight up scary film, with no tonal changes. It would have been much easier. However, having graduated through that school, it sort of turned out that actually in Europe there's not many comedy action directors. There's not that many of us, especially sort of coming up through the ranks, that have experience in that. So that's kind of, I guess, why that script landed on my table. And I remember I was at the Berlin Film Festival, and it was in the year that Chinese movies were winning 2 or 3 awards, and the sort of cover page comes up and it says Luc Besson and Robert Kamen. I was like, wow, okay, that's amazing. That's they are the sort of, in Europe, especially Luc is kind of the most established. I mean, the legendary producer, and in Europe, Accor is the biggest studio, and I was very excited about it. And then when I read it, what I appreciated about the script, now I think the conceit of it is not the most original in the world. Let's be straight up. I mean, I think you have The Last Starfighter. There's other Portal type movies, but for me, I kind of felt the sense of humor of it, and the fun and the energy and the brightness of it kind of made it not matter so much, because I just thought it was a fun story that would be enjoyable to watch, and also would let me play with a lot of things that I wanted to play with anyway, and also it reminded me basically of the films I watched when I grew up. And I watched films like of course, all the Spielberg movies and the Amblin entertainment of the 80s, but then also kind of crazy Hong Kong movies like Tsui Hark's A Chinese Ghost Story,
Yes.
or the Shaw Brothers' 36th Chamber of Shaolin,
Yes.
or Chang Yimou's Hero, or Curse of Golden Flower, and especially like A Chinese Ghost Story, which was a late 80s movie. And it was sort of doing the craziest wire work and sort of Hong Kong style tricks and
Right.
flying swords. And, it was sort of